Very good morning to all. Myself Neeta Sangre and I'm working as an assistant professor in KBN Knight College. Today I'm going to talk on Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management, which is one of the very important topic in the books of management. So we will start our session. So now we will start with the Henry Fayol's Principles of Management. Okay, now before we proceed further, we will try and understand what do you mean by the principles of management. Now in this, the term principle means guidelines, it means norms, rules or values. Okay, now when this term is associated with management in totality, what do you mean by principles of management? Principles of management means those guidelines or those norms which manager needs to follow in business with intention to maximize the productivity and to minimize the wastage. Okay, now we will take a short introduction of Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol, lifespan 1841 to 1925. Who was Henry Fayol? He was a French industrialist, also a mining engineer. He was known as father of modern management theory. The management theory he wrote is popularly known as administrative management theory, in which he gave us 14 principles of management. Now we will take a look at 14 principles of management, in which the first principle of Henry Fayol is division of work. Okay, now what Henry Fayol wants to say in this principle, that to divide entire work into a small task and allot each task to the separate employee as per his or her capability. Okay, now let me first clarify what do you mean by entire work. Entire work means the total work which is done in your organization or which is done in your factory or your company. Okay, now what Henry Fayol wants to say in this principle, that instead of allotting the entire work to one single person, divide the entire work into the small task and allot each task to each person. Now if I have to give you the example, very basic example I'll give you. Suppose I have a factory in which I make potato chips or a potato wafers. Now this is my entire work which is done in my factory. Now if I have to apply this principle, okay, I have to divide my entire work into the small tasks. Okay, so how will I go? First I will my first task will be purchasing the good quality of potato, which I will assign to person A. My second task will be washing and peeling of the potatoes, which I will assign to B. Third task will be cutting of the potatoes in different shapes and size, which I will assign to C. My fourth task will be frying the potatoes, which I will assign to D, and my last task will be packing of the potatoes, which I will assign to person E. Now see, what I told right now is the division of work. This is actually called as a division of work. Okay, now what are the positive effects of this principle? See, there are n number of positive effects, fine, but the three main positive effects, the first is that it reduces your workload. Okay, so it reduces. What happens when division of work, this principle is applied? In this principle, the entire work is divided into small tasks, so the workload is divided. So the first positive effect is it reduces your workload. The second positive effect is you gain expertise. It helps in gaining the expertise, because continuous repetition of the same task, continuous repetition of the small task as well as same task, makes you expert. Okay, and the third important thing is error free work. Okay, so once you become expertise in the small task, okay, less chances are there that error may creep in. Okay, so this was the principle of division of work. Now this principle is applied to all kind of work. Okay, another example if I have to give you, that if you go to any company or any organization, you see that there are different functions in the company. Okay, for example, there is production, there is marketing, there is finance, there is HRM. Now all, see, without all these functions, company cannot work. Okay, but all these functions are not assigned to one single person. Okay, they are assigned to different person as per their expertise and as per their capability. So this means, so This is nothing but the division of work. Okay, so this is the one of the most important principle. If you want the work to be done in your company should be in efficient manner or should be in proper manner, okay, this principle needs to be followed. Now the second principle of Henry Fayol is parity of authority and responsibility. You can say parity between authority and responsibility also. Now what do you mean by parity? Parity means evenness. Parity means equal. Okay, what do you mean by authority? Authority is right to give the orders. What is responsibility? It is obligation and it is a duty. Okay, now if I have to translate it into the Marathi, parity means sama, equal, authority, adhikar, responsibility, jawabdari. Okay, now what Henry Fayol wants to say in this principle, he wants to convey two basic things. Okay, the first thing he says that authority and responsibility must go hand in hand. Now what does this mean? This means that if you are assigning an employee a responsibility, you must assign him the authority in order to fulfill that responsibility in efficient manner. Okay, if you have given only responsibility to an employee and not the authority, the responsibility will not be executed in the efficient manner. The person will not be in a position to execute the responsibility in proper manner. So it is very important that if you are assigning a person a responsibility, you must assign him authority. For example, if I have to give you the example, if you are a say production manager and you are given a responsibility to manufacture 12,000 units, okay, in a month. Now this is your responsibility. Now without authority you cannot execute this responsibility. Without authority, okay, you cannot fill the requisition for the raw material. Without authority you can't even take a decision regarding deployment of the laborers for that particular task. Okay, so see, while shouldering the responsibility you have to take small decisions, right? And for that decision you need the authority. Fine, therefore Henry Fayol said that authority and responsibility must go hand in hand, that if you are assigning a person a responsibility you must assign him the authority. So this is the first thing. Now what is the second thing? Second thing is that if you are assigning a person a responsibility, how much authority should be assigned to that person? Okay, so the answer is A. A is equal to R. That means authority should be equal to the responsibility. If I have to translate into the Marathi, एखादी जबाबदारी पूर्ण करण्याकरता, व्यवस्थित पूर्ण करण्याकरता जेवढे अधिकार लागतात तेवढेच अधिकार त्या व्यक्तीला किंवा त्या एम्प्लॉईला दिले गेले पाहिजे. त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त पण नाही आणि त्याच्यापेक्षा कमी पण नाही. Okay, so it means that A should be equal to R. Authority should be equal to the responsibility. Now here two conditions basically exist. The first is what happens if responsibility is given to you and no authority is given or very less authority is given. Okay, the output is in front of you. The employee will not be able to perform the work in effective manner. Fine. The next condition can be what happens if the responsibility, very less responsibility is given to you or no responsibility is given to you, but as compared to the responsibility more authority is given to you. Okay, if there is more authority and very less responsibility, it leads to the misuse of authority. Okay, therefore Henry Fayol says that there should be parity, that is equalness, equal. There should be parity of authority and responsibility. Okay, now moving on to the next principle. This is again very important principle. Okay, discipline. And what do you mean by discipline? Discipline means following the rules, following the regulations, following the policies, okay, which are very important for the functioning of organization. Okay, it can be, discipline can be termed in another way also. It means obedience. It means proper conduct with others, complying with the rules and regulations of the organization. Okay, now why discipline is so important in the organization? Because it leads to the smooth functioning of the organization, and if there is a smooth functioning of organization, timely achievement of the goals is possible. What happens if there is indiscipline? Okay, that means if there is disobedience, no proper conduct with others, not complying with the rules and regulations, okay, misconduct is there. Okay, so what happens if indiscipline is there? It will create a lot of hurdles, lot of obstacles in the smooth functioning of organization, and as a result timely achievement of the goal is not possible. Okay, now how the organization will ensure that